This is Atlanta Eats. Why do I love Hals so much? You got to talk to Hal of Hals and talk about the way you want to run a restaurant. What's your whole theory about what makes a great restaurant, how you want to take care of people?
You know, I get that asked many times. People, because being in the business, they say, Hal, what's a great restaurant? I said a great restaurant is when you eat a dish and you enjoy it and you get a craving in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't care if it's a hamburger, a filet,
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. When you get a craving to go back, that's a great restaurant. I think we buy the best money can buy ingredients. I think we know how to take care of it better than a lot of people know how to take care of it. We hire professionals to deal with professionals. We got the sharpest staff, service staff in this city by far, and we work to please people. That's our job.
So you know that coming to Hals is an event for a lot of people. When people are in from out of town, this is really more often than not where I take them. You recognize when they come in, they want it to be a special night.
Yes, definitely, and we make it special every night. There's nobody pickier that walks into this restaurant than myself, than Sammy, and
Brandon.
the chef. Brandon, the chef. I mean, we've got a crew, and we're the pickiest people, and we work for the people that walk in, the people that sit down. Everybody in here, we work for the people that sit down.
All right,
They're our boss.
talk to me about New Orleans. Talk about your New Orleans roots, the whole New Orleans vibe about this place, because me and you have something in common. We both love New Orleans, and that's near and dear. What about this place? Where's the New Orleans coming
Well, we
from?
have a little New Orleans influence. Of course, I'm from there, and I was fortunate to eat out a lot and entertain a lot, and then cooking became a hobby. And
Hold on, you're from New Orleans? I thought that was a Bronx. No?
No.
Westchester?
Not
No.
quite,
Yeah.
not quite.
So you grew up with people taking care of each other.
Yes.
With food, with cocktails. That's why you have the best drinks, a great pour and a glass of wine. That's part of your whole culture.
Yes, that's the way I grew up, and that's the way I learned the business, by giving a value too. When you go out and have a drink, you want a drink. You don't want a thimbleful.
No.
You don't want a tourist drink. We pour a good healthy drink, a good healthy glass of wine, and people pay for it if they get a value. We think our meat's of value. We think our fish, all our food's of value. We believe that you give people value, they come back. We believe to advertise on the plate, advertise in the glass. That's our advertising. We don't advertise otherwise.
Except guys like me talking about you, right?
Well, you're
just-
good friends.
How many years Hal's been open now?
Yesterday was 22 years.
22 years you've been running a local joint, and I say that with love, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Of course.
why'd you open a spot, and why, and I know this because we're like brothers,
Right.
you had the best year you ever had last year, 22 years into it.
Yes.
Tell me how you keep that thing going.
We keep working hard, and we keep, as I said, we're the pickiest people that come in this restaurant. We care more about what goes on the table than the people sitting at the table. And it's consistency that matters. And when people know they can come get the same thing,
It's always going to be a great
All the
fillet.
same. All
It's
right.
always going to be great sides.
When the-
It's always going to be these. You mind if I have it?
go right ahead.
All right.
Enjoy yourself.
Please.
It's not like you hadn't had them before. But enjoy them.
So, 22 years you've owned a spot in Atlanta. Tell me how you've watched it kind of evolve from, I guess, a pretty good food town to now one of the great restaurant cities in America.
Well, when I came to Atlanta, first I commuted doing real estate work. Then when I moved here, friends kept taking me to restaurants, and they kept saying, "What do you think?" And I said, "Eh." And we either had the chains then or the very high end and formal. And I kept going, So I finally told my friends, come over Saturday, I'm cooking. So I started cooking, and we never ate out again. So one night we had too much wine, which I'm sure was more than one night, and somebody said, "Hey, why don't you go in the restaurant business?" I said, "Good idea."
Sounds like a good gig.
I said, "Good idea." So I started looking.
So tell me now to see Atlanta have what it has going on. So many chef-owned, operated places, so much exciting different food. You know, because I see you out, you're like me, you're a lunch guy. You like to go for a great lunch, you like to meet your buddies. Tell me what it's like now, the restaurant scene in Atlanta.
Oh, I think it's changed totally with the population as well. We have so many people that have come from all over the country and the world moving to Atlanta. When I moved here, I think that sign in front of the Darlington just broke 2 million people.
Right.
And I think now we're close to 6 million. So as the people moved here, their palates were used to being in New York, Boston, the bigger, older cities, Philadelphia, New Orleans, and they had a more refined palate.
And they had expectations went up.
Exactly, expectation went up, and chefs learned and evolved, and we had restaurateurs, the backbone like Pano, that trained so many chefs, and they've gone out on their own. One thing about us restaurateurs, we like to see young people learn, grow, and move on. It's great to see all the new restaurants and all the chef-driven restaurants.
So the bar, young people, beautiful older people, that's one of the great things, like a mosaic of Atlanta to be at Hals. You must love that.
We're very fortunate. We probably have the most regular, repeat local clientele of any restaurant in Atlanta.
Let me ask you though.
Please.
You're gonna clean me up because you're always the best dressed guy in town, always.
You're
Who
great,
taught you
thank
that?
you. I grew up my father had a clothing store in New Orleans.
Wow.
So I grew up with clothes.
You're a class act.
Still like it. It was easier when I didn't have to pay retail.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
We
for
love
coming.
you.
I
Always.
appreciate it. You know it's always a pleasure.
With my
Tell
buddy.
your bride hello.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Atlanta Eats. Come back hungry.